Okay, hello guys, and welcome to today's tutorial. My name is Bright from CEO Designs, and you're in the right place today. So guys, during the week I created this design and posted on Instagram, and so far so good. It's really engaging, and people kept DMing me, asking me for tutorials, step-by-step tutorials in order to create something like this. And guys, I'm here with the best video for you for this week. Yeah, trust me. Alright, so let's get straight into the garden of Photoshop. So some of the questions that people asked me was, hey, what necessitated that design idea, because it looked different from normal birthday designs we have been seeing. And I told them, remember that song we usually sing back then, who is in the garden, a little fine girl, aha. So when I thought about that song, I said, oh, let me create a fine girl in a garden for a birthday design. So that was what necessitated the design. So I got the idea from a madman. Alright, let's get into the tutorial. So as usual, the first thing we'll do is to create a square document of 2000 by 2000 pixels and resolution of 300. So click on create. Alright, so as usual, whenever we create a new document, you first of all unlock the layer before you start up anything. So click on that unlock icon and the layer is unlocked. Alright, so let's get the game started. We go to file, we go to place embedded, and we place our first image, which is the garden image. Very fine, beautiful image. The moment I saw this image, so much idea popped into my head. So I want to scale up this image to fill up the design canvas. Alright, so we just increase this guy. So the idea behind this scaling up is this. Remember that there was a tree around here where the girl stayed close to. So I just want to pull out or take the road far from where the girl will be, because since the tree will be here, if I just put the thing at the center like this, then I put the tree, it's as if the tree is growing from the road, which it doesn't make any sense. So I'll just take that guy to the right, so I have enough space to fix in my tree around here. So I think this is okay enough. Alright, if there's anything, I'll still come and edit it. Okay, so I commit my change. Alright, good. So the next thing we'll be doing will be adjusting this image. Yeah, so go to filter, we go to camera raw filter. So let's do some edits to it. So first of all, we'll start with the temperature. We'll just increase this guy. I want the image to look much more warmer than before. I think 14 is nice. Okay, the next thing, we'll just add a little tint of around 4, just to make it look different, something to see before and after, you see. Okay, so another thing, as you all know, I like putting so much contrast in my work. Okay, so I'll be adding some contrast, I think around, okay, let's leave at 11. So contrast actually separates the light part from the dark part, so it gives that clear difference between the light part and the dark part, and I really want that in this picture. So another thing I'll add texture, and I also add clarity. Let's leave this guy at 9, and let's take clarity to around 5, 6. Okay, 6. Alright, now let's check before and after. So this was before, it was kind of looking dull, and this is after. Very, very, very warm. Now I hit on OK. First step done. That is looking very nice already. I like it already. Okay, let's just arrange this image up a little bit like this. Okay, now the next thing we'll be blowing out the image just a little. You know, if somebody takes a picture in a particular background, our phone has this mindset, even though the phone doesn't have the mind of its own, but the phone always do this. It kind of blow out the background a little bit while focusing on the subject. So that's the same thing we'll be doing. So we'll be applying a blur to the image. So we'll go to filter, go to blur gallery, because here is a field, so we'll be choosing field blur. Okay, so we'll apply some field blur. Yeah, I think 15 is okay. Alright, so another thing I'll be doing, I like increasing my light bouquet in my field blur. So keep that guy around 13. Just keep the two of them around 13. So around 13, take this guy around 13. So it kind of ring out the sunny part of the image, see, without it and with it. So it just gives you that interesting feel. So I hit on OK. Alright, so that's cool. We are making progress. So right now the next thing we'll be doing is to introduce our tree, our beautiful tree. Okay, so go to file, go to place embedded, and we grab the tree. That's the guy. Alright, so we scale this guy up again. Everything is scaling this period. Okay, so I just scale this guy up and adjust appropriately to fit in my work. Alright, okay, then let me just adjust this guy just a little bit like that. Alright, okay, cool. So we'll edit the tree also so it blends with the background. If not, it just looks abstract and doesn't make any sense. You get? So also go to camera raw filter. So go to filter, camera raw filter, and we just add some effects to the tree. You should know the first thing we'll add is temperature, so it rhymes with the other guy. So we'll just pop this guy up. It must not be the exact number with that guy. We'll just pop this guy to around 10. And we also add some contrast as usual. So I really like that very well. Okay, so let's keep this guy around 15, 16, 17. Yeah, 17 should be fine. Also, there's something I want to remove here. I want to remove some of the light parts in the tree so it gets kind of dark. So I'll just reduce the shadow a little bit. Let me keep it at 17 so also rhyme with that guy there. Okay, then texture, increase more of the texture of the tree. I'm a texture man. I so love textures very well. Okay, I hit on OK. Alright, that little edit is already making the tree look as if it's part of the composition. You see, because of the temperature we added to it. So it's really fun. You get it? You get the point now. Okay, so the next thing we'll be adding will be just adjusting the tree a little bit by adding a curve. Yes, a curve adjustment layer. Alright, just a little edit. So just take this guy to the right a little bit. See, the more we push it gets much more darker. So just oh that's an error. So let's add that again. Oh, sorry, not levels, curves. Okay, so we'll clip it to the tree. Then we'll just take the slider to the right a little bit and take the center slider down a little bit. So we just have something dark a little. Yeah, something like this. Okay, that's cool. We are just trying to see if we can blend the composition. You know what we're actually doing now, it's like a photo composition. So we are just trying to blend the entire matter together. Let's move this tree a little bit to the left. Alright, I think it's cool like that. Okay, interesting. Alright, cool. So we are almost done with the general background composition. Yeah, we're almost done. Alright, so the next thing we'll be doing now, we'll start introducing some things to make this work fun and interesting. So the next thing I'll be doing here, I'll be adding a noise effect. So I hold on Control, I hold on Alt, and I click on N. Control Shift N. Yes. So I change the mode to soft light and fill with soft light neutral color 50% gray and hit on OK. Good. Alright, then right click and convert this guy to a smart object. So that noise just gives this guy some realism. Yes. So I go to filter, noise, add noise. Usually I like adding 25% noise when I'm working with such big designs. I hit on OK. Now if you zoom very closely when you're making yours, you know this is a video, you might not really see it. Now you see that dirty noise around without it and with it. So it kind of gives us this rough texture that makes the work look much more realistic than normal. Before I forget, there's the culture we have learned in this channel. And what's that culture? To always save our work while we are working. So Control S to save, and we'll call this guy Muna's birthday design. Alright, very important. So it's about that time where we introduce our beautiful model. So go to file, place embedded, and that is the model. We place the model to our design. Okay, good. Commit. Now go to your magic wand and select subject. I always like using Photoshop AI. I told you guys I don't like stress. So I'll just click on Photoshop AI and wait for the AI to do the magic for me. Then I could now zoom and check if everything is in order. Yes, everything is in order. Thank God. I'll not be stressing myself for that. Then afterwards I just click on select and mask. Yeah, then I add my my edits to that. All right, it's been long. I used select and mask, so my settings, I think it has changed. Okay, so let me just call this model, right? So from here to the bottom, I click on the noise effect, go down and hold shift, I click on this guy, Control G to group, and call that guy BG background. Yeah, let's keep our things well aligned. Okay, so let's arrange this gear, take her towards this place, then scale her up, Control T to transform, scale this gear massively up, not crazy. Okay, something like this, good. All right, okay, let's see. All right, okay, let's see, push up. Okay. All right, cool. So just adjust my that's me. You remember, I'll always keep adjusting something, so that's guarding behind. I'm just moving it to the right a little bit, so I could just have that road around there. Yes, I think it's looking nice currently. Then I could still bring it down a little bit. Okay, fine, it's looking cool now. All right, so let's continue. Now you should start guessing what are we doing next. We want to blend the gear to the background. Very obvious, because if she's just standing like this, it's looking funny. So we have to blend her to the background. So every edit now is just to blend her to the back. So the first question you might be asking, what are we doing first? Let's go to filter and camera raw filter. So when we do whatever thing we do in the camera raw filter, then if it's still looking funny, we do much more blending. So we'll start with temperature again. You just increase our temperature. I think around 11 is fine. Don't mind the background that came with it. Don't worry, the background is already out. So we also increase our exposure because she's in the garden, and that place looks kind of sunny. Yes, so the image should be an exposed image, like very exposed. So let's keep that at just 0.15. all right, I don't like pushing exposures too much. Okay, also I want to see her shadows very well, because just as I said, the image is kind of exposed, so I'm pushing the shadow to around I think that should be fine. Okay, let me say 24. all right, so I also increase the texture on her skin texture. Yes, I want it to look very rough and funny, so I pop that guy to around. All right, yes, it's now obvious. Okay, let's go before and after. So that's before, this guy here is before, and this guy here is after. Okay, so let's also do clarity. We want it to look much more pronounced. Now see the difference, see the before, see the after. What people usually call it, they call it dramatic effect. All right, so we will now go down to effect. Trust me, I like adding grain also to my image, so I'll just pop the grain up. All right, that's fine. Now see before, see after. You see there's so much difference, and this young lady is looking much more interesting now. All right, so I hit on OK and allow that guy to process. Wow, it's already looking blended. So because the image was like the background was taken under sunlight, it's warm, it has so much saturation. So while editing the image, the subject that will be in the background, I also added that warmth effect to it, so easily it just blended. But we are not done. We still add some much more blending to make it look much more realistic. All right, so you'll be wondering, what will he do next? Trust me, the next thing I always like to do is to balance the colors between the image and the subject. So I pop on color balance, I clip this guy to my image. All right, then I start to play with the slider. So I start with the midtones, push the red up because I want to have some red in my image. Yes, because I'm working with like warmth colors now, warm colors, so I want to have some red. And also, you know, this garden, it comprises of green, yellow and stuff. So just a little green, just drop at the middle one. I'm just watching it. Then I also want to have some yellow because it has green, yellow and some red. Okay, so because I went backwards, so I'm adding yellow to the image. Okay, so I go to the shadows. Also to the shadows, I just want to add a little green to the shadow, and I also want to add some yellow to the shadow. I don't want to go so crazy. Let me keep that at 5. Okay, now to the highlight. That means the lightest part of the image, the girl's image. Okay, so I'm not touching the red and blue. I'm only adding green to the highlight. So I'm adding around 6 is cool. Then I'm adding some yellow also to the highlight. Let me keep a half of that, 3. All right. So without this and with this, it's already having this blended feel. You get? So you ask again, what can we do next to help this guy look better? Do you want to know what we are doing next? So the next thing I'll be doing now, I just want to reduce a little bit saturation of the girl, just a little bit. So just saturation. So I clip this guy to the girl and reduce the saturation -6. Yes, just a little bit. See, you might not really notice it, but I know what I'm seeing. I know what I'm seeing. Okay, so that's done. Now another thing I also want to do, because I want to make this thing look much more realistic. Now, just as I said earlier, this is a garden that has light, like it's a lighted place, like sunlight. So the lights will definitely reflect on the edges of her skin, her hair and that. And this part that the light is not really hitting will kind of look dark. So there will be some shadows casted around here, while some highlights around here. So that's what we want to achieve now. So first of all, I start with the shadow. And you start to ask, CEO, how can we do the shadows? It's very simple. Just go to adjustment layer and click on exposure. Yes, we want to reduce the exposure around that place. So we just drag this slider backward like this, like very well, because we want to pop in some shadows. Yes. So okay, that's cool. Don't be scared, we have not spoiled anything. Okay, so the next thing we'll do, we invert the layer. So hold on Control and press I to invert the layer. Alright, then we'll pick our brush tool with white brush selected. Since the layer marks thumbnail is black, so we want a white brush so we can reveal some of the dark shades. See, if I brush over it, see, it's revealing some of the dark, or some of that exposure we removed. Alright, so we'll paint over this side that we want to have some shadows. You get? Now come around here. So please make sure your hardness is on 0. Then your opacity is around like this, and your flow is around like this, like 60-40 is good enough. So I just brush around this place to help add some shadows, some fake shadows. So without that guy and with that guy, pretty cool, very cool. And also note, we also add a little shadow behind the girl on top of the tree. So between the girl's layer and the tree layer, we'll add a shadow underneath, so that it will really look as if the girl is casted around that place, like she's really standing there. Okay, since we are done with the shadow, let us add highlights now around the edges of her skin. So to do that, we'll go to color, we'll go to adjustment layer and solid color. All right, I want to pick a particular color from this guy, so let me just take that layer under the girl's layer. I just want to pick a color. Okay, I understand. Under the background layer, I just want to pick a color around here. Okay, that's pure white around here. Okay, then I hit on OK. Then take that guy back up. Alright, so I'll also clip it to the girl's layer. So I right click and say create clipping marks. Okay, and also we didn't spoil anything. We also invert the layer. Control I to invert layer. Now we have inverted it. Good. Now pick your brush tool. Some people could also go around here and do this blend if, but it's not really that necessary now because we are not doing so much of that. Alright, so pick your brush tool with a white brush selected, just like the former one. Come to the edge of the hand, click, hold shift, 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 hold shift, click, hold shift, hold shift, click, hold shift, click, hold shift, like that we will continue to do. Like, just to add some artificial light around the gear, that hey, the light is really hitting her, which we know this is a fake. Okay, we could still increase the opacity and the flow to make this guy around here kind of stronger than before. Click, hold shift, click, hold shift, click, hold shift, click, hold shift, hold shift, click, shift, click, hold shift. Cool. All right. Yes. Now, without that guy and with that guy looking very nice. So save before something goes wrong. All right. So without that guy and with that guy, very accurate. Wow, we're making massive progress. Now the next thing we are going to be doing, we introduce one funny light. So go to file, we go to place embedded, and we have this light. Yes, so you scale this guy up like this around there, and you just keep it around there, so it's as if the sun is coming from there and hitting on the girl. So you change the blend mode to screen. Yes, cool. Screen, cool. Wow, that's looking very cool. That's looking very, very cool. So let's just zoom out. So without that guy and with that guy, wow, god, this is nice. This is nice. Okay, so let's just group this layer. So from this light, hold shift and click on the girl's image, then Ctrl G to group and call that model. All right, so the next thing we are doing, you can guess it, we want to add a shadow for her, so this place also look realistic. Okay, so under this, on top of, what am I saying? What am I saying? Okay, on the girl's layer, either you double click or you click on FX and you just go to blending option. All right, so go to drop shadow, just create a funky drop shadow, just keep it on normal. Let's see the drop shadow we are creating around. Okay, just keep that guy on 55. All right, so let's see the drop shadow. Okay, so you could increase the size. Okay, around that. Okay, let's keep at 75 and hit on OK. It's not making sense. True of us, see, we're having a drop shadow here. It's not looking realistic. It's stupid. Okay, so the way we solve that, we right click on the drop shadow with this place. We right click on it. Then we click on create layer and click on OK. What we just did, we just pulled out the drop shadow off the girl's layer. See, so we can now control the drop shadow anyhow we like. That's the best way to use drop shadow on Photoshop. All right, now on the drop shadow layer, create a layer mask. You can guess that. Then pick your brush tool with a black brush selected since the thumbnail is white. All right, press cap lock to remove that thing. Now increase your brush size by pressing the bracket, the right bracket. All right, so just brush off this side where we are having that shadow. We don't want the shadow around there. Sun is very like that place is an open space, so you can't have a strong shadow like that. But here is a closed space, like the distance between the gear and the tree is very close, so we can have a shadow there. But the distance between this gear and this road is very far. It's an unending road, so you can't have a drop shadow like that. It's stupid. It's insane. All right, so we have pulled out the one at the edge. Yes, it's looking cool now. So we can still do something in case if you want the drop shadow to look much stronger, you can increase the fill. Okay, let's increase that. Okay, then another thing we'll do to make the drop shadow much more stronger, I create a new layer, pick my brush tool. Don't worry, I love brushes very well. Then change the brush to a black brush, right? Then keep the opacity around 970 something. Then take the fill. Okay, the way I like to work with opacity and flow is when I keep opacity around 80, I like to put flow around 60. I don't like matching both of them at the same number. It's strange. Okay, all right, so around this part where we have the gear very close to the tree, I just brush around there. I want to keep some strong shadow there. Then also around where we have the hand. All right, so if it's looking very funny, I could just reduce it, but it's nice. See, without it and with it. Okay, I could still reduce the opacity so it doesn't get so dirty. Then I could move it no, so it doesn't get so much dirty. Okay, I think I like this now. Yes, like this is good. Well crafted, well composed image. Wow, you can clap for yourself at this point in time. Okay guys, we are done with the first round. Okay, so after this, now the next thing we are doing, we want to stamp visible. So you hold on Control, you hold on alternate, you hold on Shift, and you press E. E for elephant, E for egg. All right, so we just stamped visible. Now we have everything in one layer. Okay, So like this now, I can't go back and edit anything again. So I purposely did this. I will not be going back and editing. You know, I really like to edit so much, so I purposely did this. Okay. All right, so we'll be doing two things right about now. Okay, let's duplicate this layer. Control J for jog to duplicate. So just hide this one in case anything gets messy. So okay, so the first thing we'll be doing, just as I said earlier when I was talking about the background, now we have a tree and the girl. The girls are our subjects, like she's the most important part in this design. The tree is less important, so we'll just blur out a little part of the tree. We'll blur out a little part of the tree. Now you ask me, how can we blur that out? Should we use Gaussian blur? But Gaussian blur will blur everywhere, and don't worry, there's a tool called blur tool in Photoshop. I don't usually know where that tool is. I'll start clicking everywhere and start looking for the tool. Okay, I think this is it. Yes, the blur tool. This guy. Okay, so I picked the blur tool. I increased the size of the brush a little bit. Alright, so around this place I want to blur out just this part a little bit, so I just brush off that part. You see, it's kind of blurring it. Yeah, so it's not really our focus much, so I'm just kind of blurring it out. All these things add realism to your photo composition. This is what makes people see and say, wow, guy, you're a professional. You get? So when you give into these details very well. Now see, without that blur, without the blur, and with the blur, you see the difference. That little detail can really set your design apart for good. You get the point now. You get the point. Okay. All right, so let's continue. Okay, that's one done. We are still doing so many things to this design. We're just starting. Okay. Oh god. Right about now I'm very tired. But we'll continue the good work. Okay. Just like okay. So the next thing we'll be adding some flowers around here and some floating leaves around the design. So go to file, we go to place embedded, then we have the flower. Which should I use among these two? Let me use this one. Alright. So we put one of it around here. Let me just get some sweet measurement around her shoulder. Don't mind me, I like measuring so much. I'm kind of used to it. Okay. It kind of helped the composition to look much better. Okay. Cool. One. So we'll duplicate that flyer. Control J for jog, and we slide. Before we do that, I just Control Z. Okay, so let's just rename that guy flower. One. Then let's blur it out a little bit. Remember, we are blurring out some of the parts that are not our subject. So go to Gaussian blur, not field blur now. So just pop Gaussian blur around 15. Oh, what was that? Okay, let's go. Okay, 10 is okay. Hit on 10. Alright, cool. Okay, so we'll duplicate that guy. Control J for jog. We take it to around this side. Alright. I'm not putting it exactly as big as that. I'll just take it down a little bit. Just some dynamics. And for those of you that played drum some years ago, there's something called dynamics, where you play with high sound and low sound. So I'm just playing with big size and small size. Okay, I think I like this like this. Alright, so let me group the two of them and call that flower. Alright, cool. No, we'll still blend the flower. Everything must be blended, but we'll not be blending it like okay. So we'll be using a trick to blend it, because I also want to edit the colors in my design. Generally I'm having more of yellow, but I just needed a little bit of atom. Hope I'm correct. That atom color, like kind of an orange color. So I go to adjustment layer and go to hue and saturation. Now watch very closely. I'm not working on the master slider. I'll be working on the yellow slider, because I said I have too much yellows, but I don't want so much of yellow. I want something more of an orange looking color like atom. You get? So I'll just take this slider to the left a little bit. See, the more I take it, you see this hue changes. Every part I have yellow to the color of the hue, so it only affects the yellows in the image. So I'll just take that guy down a little bit. Okay, let me be calm around 7. Then I also saturate it a little bit. You get? So I change the color and also saturate the color a little bit. So 7. All right. So without it and with it, very 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 clear difference. So that particular slider only affected every yellow we have on our design. That was the only thing it touched. So if assuming I wanted to touch only green, if I had green on my design, I'll go to green and adjust only green. You get? So it's something to take note of. You can use it in your next design. All right. We'll continue to make we'll continue to make some much more edits to it for more realism. Okay, so the idea behind this next one I'll be doing to have floating leaves around the design. I don't put elements at random. I intentionally put elements. Okay, now she's under a tree. There's every probability that when the picture was taken, that leaves might be falling off the tree, like withered leaves, those kind of thing. So that's why I'm bringing this leaf on, not because of it is fun to put, no. So I have the first one I'll be adding to the design. So I'll just kill this guy. Just kill this guy and keep around the edge of my design, because it's not my focus. You know, I've been talking about focus so much today. It's not my focus. I just keep that guy around the edge there like that. All right. So you should know now we'll do some blurring to it and also a little edit so it walks the walk. You get the point, huh? So we'll go to filter, blur and Gaussian blur. So not 10 is crazily massive, so keep this one at 5. You know, Gaussian blur, one thing about Gaussian blur is when the image is smaller, if you use 10 for a big image, it may look normal, but if the image becomes smaller, you use 10, it looks so blurry. So the smaller the image, the more blurry it becomes. So that's why I reduced it to 5. All right, then I also make a quick edit to it. I'll just add an adjustment to the color and also to the hue and saturation. Okay, so I first of all pop up the hue and saturation. I want to desaturate it a little bit. Just as I said, it's like a withered leaf. Remember I said that. So a withered leaf should not look so much fresh. So it should look kind of less saturated. And also I want to change the hue so it kind of rhyme overall with our design we are working on. You get? So you know the color now is like an atom, like something like that. So that's what we are working on now. Alright, so we also go to color balance to do some balancing to the color so it will not look funny. So we want to add some yellow, so just clip that guy to it. So we want to add some plenty yellow to it so it just blends with overall design. You see? Okay, let's keep that at -30 in the mid-tones. It's already looking very nice. So we'll go to the shadow. That's how we'll do. So we also add some yellow to it, to the shadow. You see it's almost getting blended to the just like what we are working on. All right, so also there's something we also add that will kind of blur out some part of the image of the withered leaf, so we'll not see a greater fraction of it. So we also add a new floating leaves, plenty leaves. So go to file, place embedded, this numerous guy here, this one, plenty guy. So just around this place, just have something around here. We could also reduce the size. We don't want it so big like that. All right, so we also brush some out because we don't want the whole thing looking scary. And we can also take it under this particular one. Please be saving as you are working on your design. So we'll blur out that guy as usual. So blur, Gaussian blur. I want that guy very much blur. Okay, let's keep that around 9. Hit on OK, right? So create a layer mask, pick our brush tool, increase that guy. So just brush out some part like this part on our, we don't want that. Also brush out all these obvious leaf. Just brush out this one a little bit. So just want something light, like this. Okay, let's show this one a little bit. Let's just show this one a little bit. So it's not really our focus. Remember, I keep talking about focus today. So anything that's not my focus, I just kind of take it out of my composition, or I make it look less calling. Yeah, so it's nothing much, just a little edit to that. All right. Oh God, I've lost so much of this leaf. Okay, I think it's better now. Okay, that's fine. Cool. Wow, we are already close to where we'll be adding our text to our design. So let's just group every of these floating guys. Alright, so from this place I hold shift and click this one. No, remove that one. and Control G. They just call these guys floating leaves. Why am I typing like this today? Okay, so that's good. All right. Now, because we need to have text around here, and if we write text like this, we may not really see what we are writing. So we'll create a new layer, pick our brush tool. This is a really good trick whenever you want to have text on a design like this. So just have your brush, pick a white brush, come to this side, then just damp your white brush around here like this, so you can have enough white space to type. You get? So that's what we are trying to achieve now. Just need some white space to type, something like that. So let's see without it and with it. Now we can easily type on this design, like we can easily type without any disturbance, so it's very important. I think let me take this flower down a little bit. Okay, good. All right, so without that guy and with that guy, then there are two other things I want to do before I bring up my text. Okay, the first thing I want to do, I want to increase some of the brightness around this design and also reduce some parts, so I give a clear distinction over things. So I create an adjustment layer, I click on brightness and contrast. All right, then I increase the brightness massively. Just don't be scared. Something around 18, 19, okay, something like this. All right, pick my brush tool with black brush selected. Now I remove that thing from every part where I want to be dark, like this. Like I want these places to be dark. You see now, you see what I'm doing? I want these few places to be dark. So what I'm actually doing is just to make this part that I have that white much more lighter, so my text can really stand out easily. So while all these other places, I'm removing the thing from there. So this is what I'm having. All right, and also there's another thing I want to do again. So I want to add some more shadow. What people call that is like vignette effect, but I wouldn't be using vignette effect. I'll do that by my own self. I create a new layer, I pick my brush tool. Yes, I pick my brush tool with black brush selected. I come to this edge and I just brush. No, not that dark. Go back, Ctrl Z. Let me reduce my opacity to around 40 something and my flow to around 30 something. Then just brush around here like this. Not so much, something like this. All right, so without that and with that, see, it just gave those edges some calmness. Yes, it's really cool. I like it. You could also continue and create a new layer, use gradient tool and have something like this. Yeah, some people like doing that, and Ctrl T, then reduce the size a little bit, the opacity and feel. But I just did that manually with my brush. That was what I did with my brush, something like that. So we'll be having our texts in, but before I do that, you trust me, I like to edit. So come to this place where we had our white brush on this. Create a layer mask, pick your brush to, I think it's kind of excess, so I just want to reduce it around some places. So just reduce the brush and reduce some of it that's staining our leaves, and also some of it around here, so it doesn't look all funny and stuff like that. Okay, I think it's much better now. Alright, so I can now have my text is on top of all these layers. So create a new layer, pick my text tool. Alright, horizontal type tool, then click and type. So the name I used was Muna. Okay, fun fact, when I was creating this design the first time, I didn't create it on my system, so I worked on another system. So I just managed the font I saw on the system. I just used the font I had on the system. So later I checked the name and I saw it was Adoha, so I downloaded it and added to my system bank. It's kind of looking nice. I like the way it's looking. So okay, let me just, so we'll not waste time for this text. I'll just use up some of the details for the text. Let's take this guy times 90, so around 85. so it doesn't look all gigantic. Okay, let's reduce this guy to, alright. And there's one crazy thing I did, because I saw the font, I didn't like it. I broke one particular design rule. I'm not apologetic about it, or I'm not begging for your forgiveness now, but I had to fix it because I didn't really like the way the font was looking. So Ctrl T, I stretched the bottom part of the font like this. So I'm holding Shift currently on my keyboard, and I'm just drawing this guy down. Yeah, I did it. Yeah, take me to court. Take me to court. Take me to court. All right. So I did that because it was not really looking nice when I had the font going on like that. So I had to fix that. Okay, another thing I did, I added a gradient overlay. So I go to FX and add gradient overlay. So don't be like CEO that breaks rules, huh? Don't be like me. When I break rules, I know what I'm breaking before I break it. Say when you saw the font, you liked the way the font was looking, and I broke the rules so that the font will look that way. Okay, so I want to have a gradient running from green to yellow. Like, I really liked the green because since the background was more of an atom, like a yellow orange looking background, so I just needed a green to have some spice. So the code is 40570C. 40570C. I hit on OK, then I create the, okay, let me just slide this guy and like this, and I hit on this other guy and give this guy yellow. The yellow code would be E3C036. Alright, so it's running from yellow to green. Cool, looking nice. So I hit on OK. Alright, no other thing, just the gradient overlay. Yeah, just cool. But the funny part is when I'm teaching it, it looks simple, but before I could decide on this particular gradient, it took some time, trust me, because I was working with a font. I didn't really like how it was looking. Let me still stretch this guy a little bit. Just as I said, don't be like me. I'm only showing you because I did it. It doesn't mean that's the right thing to do. don't be like me. Okay, back to the tutorial. Alright, so I create a new layer. I pick on my text tool and type happy birthday because it's a birthday design, so happy birthday. Okay, just as I said earlier, I didn't use my system, so I was still struggling with, I was just picking some random fonts around the system, some font that should match the design. So there was another one I picked. The name had Pride is good. Pride signature, yes. So Pride signature font, I discovered that font that day, and I liked the font. Like, I really liked the font. So we'll be working with, I think that was the same gradient fill. Does it really matter? It doesn't really matter. We'll just work with because I'll still add stroke to the font because the font is not looking bold enough. But if you look the main design I did, it was very bold. So I'll add stroke rather to it. So just double click on it. Let's go to FX and just give this guy a stroke of around 3 should be fine. Center, yes. Then we'll change the color to kind of a blue that speaks very loud volume. Okay, as if the system knows what was in my mind. 4A6111. Okay. And I hit on okay. I think I also used this green for a design recently, so it just maintained my choice for me, waiting for me to just say, hey, this is what I want, let's go together, and it just continued. Okay, just of a few righteousness, just add the gradient overlay to it. When you zoom in, that's when you see it. Okay, let's zoom in, so we'll see it a little bit. So when we add that gradient overlay, it'll just be inside that stroke, something like this, you see now. So we also have a gradient overlay just like the last one we did, running from, what was that color again? Is that the color? Oh god, why didn't I just copy and paste the previous one? I would have just copied and pasted. Okay, E3C036. It's good to write stuffs down because I wrote the color I used for the Muna, so I'm just reading it out from my book right now. So it's always good to write stuff. Definitely when you design, I always say, basically when you design, always make sure you draw out a sketch, you write your color palette, the hex code of your color palette that you are choosing, or your color palette rather that you are choosing, and work around it. So that's the same thing I'm doing, and it's saving my life. So I think that's cool. So it's only when you zoom it you notice it. That was I was like, should we leave it or should we not leave it? But it's all cool. We can flow with that. We can flow with that. All right. So that's good. Okay. Another thing so let's go back to Muna. Let's click on the gradient overlay. All right. So just scale up this. Okay. Let's go back to that one then. It's okay. It's okay like that. Okay, now other text can just fit into the design generally. Other text, it's something easy to do. Just create a new layer, pick your text to, so you could just write something there. But I think I'll just copy the text from the initial design and paste it there. Okay guys, so I just copied that text. Okay, we're almost done. So we are filling up the date now, that place where we had that cycle and the date shape and everything. So create a new layer. All right, pick our ellipse 2, then we create a big ellipse around this place. So hold shift on your keyboard so you create something accurate, or something a perfect cycle rather. Yes. Alright, just give a color because we'll still do some cutting. Okay, so let's see if we just align that guy around that point. Cool. Okay, so duplicate that shape and Control T to transform. Reduce this one. We'll use this one to cut out from this one. So just give this one another color, something different. So Control Shift and select both of them. Just shift, then select both of them, then align to middle and to middle like that. We'll still scale this one down. So around here, just hold Alt and scale like this. Alright, so you could hold the both of them, Control T to scale the both of them to something like this. Okay. Alright, I wouldn't want to make a funny mistake here now. Okay, so with that done, just hold Control on your keyboard and click the thumbnail of the second cycle, then come to the first one, then hold go to select and click inverse, then click on layer mask icon, so it removes that shape. You see, as simple as that, just takes away the shape for us, so we can now continue work. So we could still scale up this guy, like scale up this guy much more, something like this. Alright, okay. I don't really like the way this guy is looking. Okay, let me create another. Okay, so I have this, right? Just give it that. Alright, so duplicate again, Control J, scale down this one. Just give that one a different color so we know where it starts from. Alright, so highlight both of them and align to the center like that, so we could scale this one down, hold Alt and scale it down a little bit. Okay, better. So hold Control, click on this thumbnail, come to the first one and click layer mask option. So it takes, oh sorry, we had to invert that, so go to select and inverse. Alright, so click on layer mask option, so it takes that guy off. I think this one is better. Okay, much better. So the next thing we'll be introducing another cycle. So use the ellipse to and draw another cycle, another big cycle like this. Alright, So let's just have that color there for now. Or we ought to change their color soon. Let me still take this guy down like that, and okay, so we'll give it some effects. We just want to have something fancy around there. So first of all, give it some inner shadow. All right, so it will be a green inner shadow, so that will be 7790 TVB. Hit on OK. So we can now play with our sliders till we get what we want. So just change this. Okay, it's on screen already. Since it's something light we are looking for, take that guy to 100%. Then increase the size around. Okay, then also the distance. No, let's keep that guy at 3, nothing that much. Okay, so also we'll add some satin to it, just to give the, not so the box will not look ordinary. I want to make the box look kind of fancy. All right, oh, so cool. We're working with that code F4DA4A. Hit on OK. Then we'll change the blend mode to screen. Yeah, good. Then distance, size 250. Then reduce the opacity very well. We don't want it to look so much pronounced like that. Alright, TV is okay. So without it and with it, it's just a sub-2 edit to it. So you hit on OK. So that's cool. So we also want to have that reflection kind of shape on it. So to do that, it's very easy. Create a new layer, pick your pen tool. Yes, pen tool. Then just click around here. Then draw a curve like this. Then just hold Alt, break this guy down, complete the curve. Then change the color to color white. Yeah, that's how we form that trick. Just pick pure white. Alright, then also remove that outline so it doesn't spoil stuff for us. So also we change the blend mode to soft light, then clip it to that shape because we just want it there. Then reduce the opacity and fill, so around 50 something, it's fine. So I think it's fine like that. You shouldn't slip on that. Okay, so the last thing we are doing is to create another shape, that glowing green shape around it, the glowing green shape. Okay, let me open it. So it's this glowing green shape here we actually want to create, right? So just get rid of every of these other effects, just clear layer style. So the only thing we'll be adding to it is gradient overlay. Why am I even taking my time to always do this? Let's go back to this Muna, this gradient overlay. Right click, copy. Okay, I think it will be different. Then come to ellipse, then right click and paste. It's different. Okay, so let's go back there and okay, change that guy to color dodge. All right, I think it will give us what we want. So let's just see if we can play around with these sliders a little bit. So hex code 5B7C12, a lighter shade of green, and also we're working with a lighter shade of yellow. So okay, that one should be fine. Should be fine. So once that is done, we just click on OK. Then we reduce the opacity a little bit so we can have that transparent feel there. So just take that guy to 50%. You see, so it's as if it's glowing around it. So Ctrl T. Let me reduce the size. So I'm holding Alt now. Okay, cool. So it's just as if it's glowing around it. So let's group everything there. So let's first of all group the round circle. So this circle. All right. So let me also reduce the size so it doesn't get too big. Okay. And also add this one to the grouping. Oh, sorry. Hold shift on your keyboard and drag this one. So what it does, it takes that guy still under this round shape. Okay, then the last thing we are doing to this one is to add a gradient overlay to it. So just right click on it and paste that gradient overlay we copied initially for Muna, right? So I will not be typing the text. I'll just go and copy the text and paste here. So for the 29, I used the same Adora I used for Muna, and the color code I used was F8E07D. Alright, so you can use Poppin Montserrat for this text and also for the match. So whatever text you use here, just use the same thing for the match. Alright, so I think that's cool. So we'll just do the final finishing touch and we are done with this design. Okay, so one of the finishing touch we are doing, we are just adding another external light for this girl on her face around here, this place. Alright, around this place. So just create a new layer. Pick your brush tool with the white brush selected off your cap lock. So increase your brush size. With the white brush selected, you could reduce this guy to around 50 and float around 30 something. So with the white brush selected, just brush like this. Alright, cool. Yes, then you could now reduce the opacity, something like that. So you just add just a minor effect, so you could see add a little around here. Then after, use your layer mask to remove excesses. So to remove excesses, I could still reduce this brush and the flow, so I brush off some of those excesses so it doesn't look so much crazy. So I didn't change the blend mode, I just kept the blend mode and normal. You could play with some blend mode, you could look around and play with some blend mode. Alright, so I think that guy is already looking cool. Now the last finishing touch we'll be doing is that we'll add a noise effect. It's obvious. So I'll add a noise effect, an overall noise effect to the entire composition. Alright, so I hold Shift Control press N, then change the mode to soft light and fill with 50% gray, hit OK, right click, change to smart object, filter, noise, add noise. Alright, so we are not adding massive like that, we'll just go around 6. So that's like a final noise for the overall design. So the noise will affect, see, if you check here now, you see the noise is affecting that, so it's cool. So I really like seeing that on my designs. Yeah, so that's just the final edit we are doing to it. Wow, this is looking pretty nice. So guys, with that we come to the end of today's tutorial. This was really fun creating for me. There at some point I became tired because it's usually fun when you are recreating something you have created before, but it's all cool. I believed you enjoyed the tutorial. I know you personally, you did. You did. So give us a like after watching this. Give us a like and also subscribe to the channel and click that small bell icon close to the subscription icon, so that when I post tutorials like this, out of the 7.9 billion or whatever number of people in the world, you'll be the first person to see it, to see the notification. You get it that. So if you also have questions about this tutorial, like some part got you confused or you didn't get some part, or you want to know the reason behind some things I did, maybe I never explained personally, you can drop a comment under the comment section and I'll reply you as soon as possible. So guys, with this, I see you guys in the next tutorial. Happy designing.